Welcome, one and all, to Strang Theory.
Strang Theory.
Strang Theory. The live YouTube show happens every Wednesday night here at Ginger's Barn. Coming to you from beautiful Halifax, Nova Scotia, where we are locked down and don't care because we're
Here.
and not where people
You
are
are.
sick.
Right.
Yes, well, we are, but everybody's going to be okay. And we want to start the night off, obviously, with our partners. The list is so long, it's ridiculous, but Boucher Guitars, Levy Strap, G&G Music in Anecdotes, Fantasy Music in Spring Garden Road in Halifax, K&K Sound, Gallagher Guitars, Recording King Guitars, Alvarez Yeri, Yamaha Music Canada, James Martin Instruments from Ireland, Audio Sprockets, Diodario, Brickhouse Guitars, our buddy Roger Schmidt in Kitchener, Ontario, one of the best guitar shops in Canada. And a new fella, not new to me, because I've known him for 2 decades, one of the best guitar builders in Canada, Mr. Joshua House. And so big shit. Whoa.
What was the biggest fade that thing can manage?
Yeah, that was kind of an abrupt ending.
Go Ginger.
Yeah,
It doesn't
go
have
Ginger.
fade. It just says go quiet all of a sudden.
Joshua House Guitars, so you'll want to... matter of fact, I should have done this earlier and did not, but I'm just going to quickly confirm the website that we want to send you to. Which,
You're off to a great start.
Yeah, it's just lovely.
You're doing a fine job.
Thank you.
Stellar.
So it is indeed houseguitars.com, which is what I thought I wanted to make sure. But Joshua is a close and old dear friend of mine, and he's built guitars for me. And unfortunately, he's not unfortunately, but he's selling so many guitars he doesn't even have a demo. He's just filling. He's got a year or two of orders. But I wanted to welcome him to the channel, and he's an old friend of mine and a tremendously nice young man with a family and a friggin' brilliant guitar builder. I've seen
those
his
guitars.
guitar. Yeah, you've seen the one that's currently down at Gunning Studio. One of the very first J.P. Cormier signature model guitar that was ever built was built by Joshua House, and it's at Dave's studio. It's retired there, but being used in recordings.
Hanging comfortably.
It is hanging very comfortably down there, and so a big shout out to Joshua. Thank you for being a great Canadian builder. And thanks to all our partners. My God,
This list gets longer.
Yeah, it just gets longer and longer, and it's so many.
Gonna need a new page.
We're gonna need a new page and possibly like a cue card.
We should just paste them to the curtains behind you.
Yeah, we should make like a hockey.
She's full of great ideas.
Yeah, she's full of something.
Sucks at fading music, though.
Yeah, it sucks. She's not much of a sound
An artist
engineer.
is only as good as her tools. You give me
Did you
crap,
just
you
call
get
us
crap.
tools?
Yes.
She might have.
I'm not sure.
Ginger, the lovely Ginger, without whom, which we could. What I just say?
That was
You're
a lot
trying
of,
to say you couldn't do this
we
without
could
her.
not do it without her. She's been the producer and mediator of this show for.
Mediator.
That's what she does.
Zookeeper.
The zookeeper
Yeah,
for
accurate.
14 months, I think now.
Dog wrangler.
Dog wrangler, and
You're excused.
excuse me.
Another drink.
Had a little bit of I'll get a little bit of Stella on the go. Mm-hmm. And of course, whatever's in the magic decanter.
I've got a little bit of pink thunder happening here.
Pink thunder.
So
It's
sugar-free.
Yeah, it's pink
cotton
now
candy.
and thunder later.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those. It's a little gassy, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes.
Beano now, and there will be no gas later.
That's right.
You're welcome.
So a great big howdy and hello to all the people that come and spend Wednesday nights with us. We love you.
Why?
And
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know why you keep coming back, but here we are. And
It's Wednesday.
Yes, it's Wednesday.
I almost forgot it was Wednesday, actually.
Yep. And my good friend Chris Coote is in the house again tonight. One of the best friends I've ever had in my whole life.
One of the only friends you've ever.
Pretty much, yeah. And
That's a gunning.
yes, it is. Yes, a shout out to Dave Gunning and the family who's at home tonight eating a butterscotch pie.
Wow.
That is their chosen activity this evening. But they're not going to have as much fun as we are. It's just that simple.
No.
So,
But they do have pie.
but they do have
don't.
pie.
Why don't we have pie?
Well, we
Pie in
don't
the
have
house.
pie, but I got scotch. So I don't even know what the rules are on YouTube drinking alcohol in front of people, but frankly,
I think as long as you're in your own home, you're all right.
I don't really
I
give
think
a
there is
shit.
some small print about pushing alcohol, but
I'm not pushing
pushing
anything.
it.
I'm just being my normal alcoholic lush self. So it's just
Well done.
thank you. First question tonight goes to
It's a super chat from Kevin O'Handley.
Kevin O'Handley. He finally got a credit card, the bastard.
It's a pre-chargeable.
Oh yeah.
Does he get a theme song?
Oh, a theme. Oh,
Is that what he wanted?
Yep.
Oh.
Kevin O'Handley lives in Cancer Town.
Still.
Kevin O'Handley, he puts the banjo down to sleep and kills it because he plays so good. He's a son of a bitch. Kevin O'Handley, he picks up garbage and gives people tickets for a living, keeps the environment safe in the county there, and he's a really good guy, and everybody loves him.
Freezing
and
is going all the hell.
He's just, I love him too.
I miss him.
I do miss him. Kevin, how are you?
Kevin O'Handley.
Kevin O'Handley, one of the best banjo players going in the province, and one of my oldest friends. And what does he
One of
want
our
to know from
Stanfest
us?
mates.
Is that what?
One of our good Stanfest.
Yes, absolutely. So what does he?
His question, he says, JP, I'm having issues with the 5th string capo in my banjo, making a terrible buzz when it's in the off position. Fix it.
Okay, well,
I added
it
that
depends on what one you've got. If you have a shub style, which is the one that's on that friggin' rail that slides up and down, and you turn the thumb screw to push the capo part down. Frankly, I would just tell you, ditch that thing and go to Campbell Calder. And if you don't know who, I mean, you know who he is, but Campbell Calder is one of the best tech luthier guys in the province, and he's right up there by you and Anecdotes. Get Campbell Calder to put in railroad spikes in your fretboard. That's what you really should have. And it ditches all that hardware. It's what I've always used. It's what Scruggs used. It's what everybody has always used.
The tacks just work.
They do.
They just
They
work.
do.
There's no
and
futzing around.
and they're not easy to put in. And have you ever installed them?
No.
Yeah.
Won't touch them.
But Campbell will. Campbell knows exactly how to put them in, and it's not a big job. It's not expensive. It just takes know-how.
Yeah.
And Campbell, I'm sure, can put in railroad spikes for you. That's what I would do, especially with that banjo. He's got a great Gibson Mastertone banjo.
Nice.
And you need to treat that thing right. Get all that goddamn hardware off of it, because that's just a pain in the butt. I hate that stuff. So thanks for the question. Thanks for the super chat. It's a good thing too, because Kevin, God bless his heart, has actually been sending us cash money in the mail.
It's snail mail super chats.
Yes,
Snail
mail super chats. Yes, SMSC we call it. Snail mail super chats.
Yeah, there's a guy.
And love you dearly,
Yeah.
Kevin. You're a great man, and love you to death. So anyhow, that's a really good opener.
Yeah, that's a good question,
It's
too.
a good opener. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'd say that to anybody.
I think we're going to have a banjo night tonight.
We could have a banjo night. We could have a banjo night. Yeah. Next.
We have another super chat from Michael Mercier.
Michael Mercier.
Recently saw a video of you playing with Tim Eady at a summit, and it was unbelievable. What is your approach to develop picking speed?
Picking slowly. That is the only way to get speed. Is to. I didn't say this, but I wish I had. Although I have said a form of this to every student I've ever had for my entire life, but I recently read it somewhere, and I don't remember who it was credited to. But the saying was, if you can't play something correctly slowly, you can't play it fast either.
Was it not just on the bluegrass documentary? we
It
watched
was
the
on
other night?
something.
Yeah,
it was on.
because
Yeah, it was
But
on the
that,
bluegrass
but that is
documentary.
that is
Yeah.
the absolute truth. If you can't play something slowly, what makes you think you'd ever play it fast? So
practice, slow it down.
practice and slow everything down.
Yeah,
And like a lot of the things that I play, well, they're ridiculous, right? But I started the same way even after I was very established as a guitar player. I still don't learn stuff and try to play it at full speed. I have to play it slowly because it builds. That's what builds muscle memory. It builds the knowledge of the tune. And this is one of the most important things is if you're learning a tune and you don't have tablature, which I kind of go against tablature. Like tablature's fine, but I'd rather you used your ear or a video and watch somebody do something. And you learn a tune and you do it very slowly. One of the benefits of that is that you get to discover from time to time during that process what is the best way to finger something. So
There's a joke in there somewhere.
yeah, there's a joke, but I'm very serious. You might decide, like for instance, when I designed the transposition of the Mathematician to guitar from fiddle, right? Obviously, I started it very slowly and tried to figure out what I wanted to do, right? So the melody was. So when I discovered that and was playing it very slowly, I thought, there's got to be a better way to finger that. There's a different position and a different finger position I can use to get those notes easier. So because I was going so slowly, I had the time to go, okay, what if I played it somewhere else? And instead of it being down here, it ended up being here, which is a completely closed, nothing really moves. The left hand's not moving.
a lot less real estate being
Yes,
used.
and that's the secret, right? And that's part of speed. If you don't finger things, if you don't use the left hand the right way, it slows you down.
I found that myself,
Right.
being left-handed.
Yes, exactly. It'll slow down everything.
Nobody wants a fingering problem.
No, they sure don't.
No.
See that all of that left hand work
Your
was
left hand's off screen, by the way.
okay. Is it? Oh shit.
Yeah.
But to make a long story short, all of that work that's occurred because I was taking it slowly and figuring out what was the best way to do that. And if you just rush into things and try to play it at full speed right off the bat, you'll never discover those things.
And some people play the same tune differently,
Yes, exactly.
to the same result. To the
There
same
is
end.
no right way.
Yeah.
It's you. It's whatever your right way is to get you to the point where you can play it at speed. And so that is the general secret and the rule of thumb. And I said that in my book. When I wrote the primary color book, there was 12 pages of I put everything I knew about playing guitar in that book, and it's in capital letters. In the last chapter, speed is the final application. You never put speed on nothing until you know you can do it. Until you can do it, it's pointless because you're just going to play it wrong fast. You play it slow, wrong, and you play it fast, wrong, right? Even worse, wrong, fast. So there you go. There's my...
Good question.
It is a fantastic question, and actually one I don't really think we've had,
No.
really. So, yeah. Thank you,
Not
Michael.
for a while, anyway.
All right. Ken next.
Next, we have Joe with the weekly trivia.
Hey, Joe.
All right.
What does Ralph Nader say about shampoo and toothpaste?
That they're all made out of gasoline and we should not use them.
That you should only use them while you have your seatbelt on.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that
And never in a Pinto.
never in a Pinto
No.
or a Gremlin.
A Gremlin's twice as bad.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right.
AMC products.
Ooh.
Not
The Eagle.
the Eagle.
The Concorde.
The AMC
I
Eagle.
remember those.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Joe, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
What famous movie featured one of the first computer-generated car stunts, and it was using an AMC car?
Ooh, that's a good. Okay, he'll find that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check back with
He
you.
hasn't
Yeah.
answered the other question, so I'm not sure what the answer is to the shampoo and toothpaste question.
That is
but-
the answer.
Yeah, we gave him the answer.
That is actually the answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a joke or if it's real, but it is the answer.
Those are your answers.
I don't know.
Right there.
Okay, next.
Oh, dear.
Welcome to String Theory.
Random things. Next is Bram Avery.
Bramivery.
AG.
Bramivery.
Yeah. Hey, GP, can I put bass strings on my mandolin?
Please.
Oh yeah, please.
Please do.
And send me a video.
We need the video.
Yeah, I'd like to have that.
Yeah, wide angle, please.
Yes.
Because we want to
And-
see where the parts fly.
And where you end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, then.
Make sure that somebody else films it too,
Yeah.
like from far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I'd
make
love
sure
to
you
see
have
that.
lots of gauze for the lacerations.
And insurance. Yeah. Ken next. Arsehole. Bass strings on my mandolin. Oh my God. We're really cultivating a unique set of people on this
Yeah.
show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you.
We're
We
attracting
love
the
ya.
winners.
We love you. Oh God, I love this show. So good. All right, go ahead.
We have a super chat from Jim Hegan.
Jim Hegan.
Hey, JP, have you ever met Tony Rice? And if so, what was your experience?
Yeah, I met Rice.
What was
Still
fine about it?
recovering.
Still recovering. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. And Tony's gone now. And I not to get serious in the middle of all this, but it really is quite serious because I was actually telling Ginger this not long ago that Rice is one of the people, and there's several of them in my life, right? That people that I admire and look and know their history, and some of them I met and some of them I didn't. But Rice was a person, in my opinion, that kind of wasted it. You know, like he wasted it. And alcohol was the problem, and he never quite got a grip on that. And so when I met him, I met him twice actually in one day at Merlefest. I was a performer there, and he arrived backstage and seemed to be okay. And when I walked up to him, and he knew people, all kinds of people that I knew because he was friends with everybody from Moncton, all the Mailles and Eddie Poirier, and like all. He had played in Moncton multiple times with the association up there, right? So he was in Fern Maillet's house with Daniel. Like he knew all those people, and I knew all those people, and I walked up to him and had my lanyard clearly displayed, and he knew I was an artist there. And he was standing off to himself, and then that was his way, was to stand off by himself, and very unapproachable kind of guy. He
Stand off.
Yeah, he didn't look unpleasant. He just looked, well, he was Tony Rice.
Yeah.
He'd be scared shitless to approach a guy like that
Right.
in the first place, right? But I did, because I just didn't care, and I loved him. And I just walked up to him, and I put my hand out, and he shook my hand, and it was just very limp and cordial. And I said, you know, we have mutual friends in Moncton, New Brunswick. And he just went, yeah, I know. And he smiled at me, you know, and he was, you know, and that was it. He wouldn't talk to me, right? And so later on, we were staying in the same hotel, and I was up on the balcony on the second floor of the hotel, and he was down below in a room with him and his brother Larry and his wife and a couple of other people. And I felt that I really wanted to talk to him. I didn't want to take that kind of thing for an answer. So I looked at Hilda, who was with me at the time. This is a lot of years ago, right? And I said, I'm going down there. And she said, don't do it. She knew him. really well, like really well. Him and her had been friends for years, and she even played piano with him in the Seldom Scene at the festival in Washington D.C. years before, and he wouldn't even recognize her. He wouldn't even talk to her, right? And so I said, fuck this, I'm going down there. So I took a bunch of CDs and I went down the parking lot and across the parking lot. The door was open. Walked in the door, and there was Rice sitting on the bed with a couple of people around. There was Pam, his wife was in there. A couple of people were there, and the floor was covered in Coors Light cans, just covered in. You couldn't see the floor. You couldn't see the carpet. And I walked over. He was sitting on the bed, and he looked up. I said, "Hey, Tony, it's JP again." I said, "I brought you some CDs," and he stuck his hand out. He's like, and he said, "Don't mind my hand. It's cold. Been holding a beer for all fucking day because he had dysphonia, right?
Yeah.
Like Fred Lavery does." And so I sat right in the bed beside him, and the guy that was in there said, "You better let me have those CDs," and because he didn't want him. Tony God knows what had happened to him, right? And I just sat there in the bed with him and talked to him for a few minutes. And he was fine. He wasn't never mean or ugly or any of those things, but he was just really drunk. And I felt bad. And everybody knows this about Rice. This isn't anything shocking. And he did dry out at the end of his life, right? But I mean, I just felt so bad. This man was an absolute genius. He was a god. What he did on the guitar will never be matched. Like, he created an entire style of guitar playing that no one will ever be able to surpass. We all are his children, the same as Doc. You know, we look back at what Doc did. Tony was one of his children, and Tony took it to the other level. And then all of us are like, how can we go there? And then you get the Brian Suttons and the Cody Kilbys and the Jake Workmans and all these guys that came after Rice that were highly influenced by Rice. And I'm sitting in a hotel room on a bed beside this man who's so polluted drunk he can't talk to me.
That's sad.
It was really sad.
Yeah.
And
sad to see a legend like that.
Yeah. And it wasn't the first. I'm not going to single him out. Boy, I've seen a lot of my heroes in not so good a shape.
Well,
you're
like really bringing this down. I'm going to have another non-alcoholic drink.
Yeah, but with all of that being said, I want to say that regardless of that, right? When I left that room, I did not think any less of that man. In actuality, I felt even closer to him because I thought, this is a man who's got a lot of problems, right? And his problem, I think, was that he was so shy and so inundated with the world and everyone clamoring to get a piece of him. That's how he dealt with it.
And it's not uncommon in that.
It isn't.
Your business.
No, it's not.
Some of the biggest dicks in music are just absolutely terrified of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I know some of them.
Yeah, and he was never a dick. He was never impolite or any of those things. But so that's my Rice story, and it's a bit painful, but also it's sort of maybe a cautionary tale to people, and also I hope it's a tale that's, when people hear this, and I'm not the only one this happened to with him, I hope it don't want it to ever take away from him. He wasn't a negative experience overall. It was just a very sad experience. Sobering, yeah. It made me think twice about my own drinking. In the day,
Yeah.
I came close to having problems with drinking, right? And after a while, it was just like, this ain't worth it anymore. And I just stopped doing it. But I mean, we used to drink like fish. I just could handle it better than most people, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't handle it. He only weighed 90 pounds. Like, he was a big, tall guy, like that big around, right?
Yeah.
So
Country mailbox.
Yeah. So anyhow,
Tony Rice.
Great love to Tony Rice and his family and everybody who loved him. So I hope that's kind of a big question. That was a big question.
Yeah.
I almost didn't answer it, but I think maybe I should have, and I'm glad I did. So there you go. Hope that's all right with you.
So there's that.
Okay, next.
We have a super chat comment from Ian Rossiter.
Ian Rossiter. How you doing, my brother?
He
Good to
said
see you.
He played the Triple O Boucher at Stang here in town. Most exquisite instrument I've ever played.
Absolutely agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's talking about my signature model, too, which is, if it's not, it must be Yogi. But Robin's, as everybody knows, my number one guitar in the world is Robin. Boucher is the guitar actually that's sitting right here is my secret weapon that hasn't been reviewed
Yogi
yet.
he played.
Yes, Yogi's one of the greatest guitars I have ever played, ever, and she's the reason that my signature model became a triple O cutaway. Because the only thing about Yogi is that she's not a cutaway. But other than that, it's the same exact guitar with a torrefied top. And, brilliant. Unbelievably brilliant guitars. I just reviewed one. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up because let me double check this. I had notification from Glenn at G&G Music in Anecdotes just before the show. And he always talks to me just before the show. Okay, they are gone. So there was a pair of Koa limited edition Bouchers, 1 of 10, OM and triple aught, like Yogi, only Adirondack and all Koa back and sides.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was just
nice.
unbelievable. So there are 10 of those guitars. They're gone. The 2 that were here are gone. Glenn sold them already. But if you can get your hands on the Koa limited edition triple O that's out there, there's 9 more in the world. I don't even know where they are, but you might be able to find out. Boys, find one and invest the money.
Did we upload that review?
Ma'am?
Did we
I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's killer, great guitars. Robin's the man. Love you, Robin.
Indeed.
And Guillaume.
We need to do a string theory from there sometime.
Yeah.
When we can move.
Whenever we're allowed to
Oh
do
my
that,
God, would that ever be
Fly
fun?
up to Montreal and go on a little road trip.
Oh my God,
That'd be awesome.
Robin would die. He'd be so happy if we went up there to do that.
I'd love to see the plant there.
Oh, the shop is incredible. It's just incredible. But we're going to be doing as soon as the lockdown ends and everybody starts to get more shots, I'm getting mine Friday. We're going to go do a workshop at Hervé Bure's shop, which will be very cool. It's actually very similar to Robin's shop. And those are 2 builders I would like to have them meet.
Yeah.
Because they're both very French. Robin's French, and Hervé is French. And
Swiss French.
He's Swiss French. And so we're going to get to go do that. So hopefully when everything is back to some kind of normal, we are definitely going to go up to Berthier-sur-Mer and do a shop at Robin's place. Got to do a workshop there.
That'd be cool.
That'd be incredible.
Coming, Ginger?
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
Who's going to fly, you or me?
Me. And you.
There you go.
There you go.
This is the beauty of living
We'll
with 2 pilots.
We'll fly you up.
All right. Done. Okay, next.
Another super chat from Ted Whitmore.
Ted Whitmore. Attaboy.
Here's a special shout out for all of our first responders, like the Ian Rossiters of the world.
Yes.
Thank you, Ian, for your service. Ian's in a.
Here's to the first responders everywhere. We'd be in a lot of trouble without you.
Not so long ago, you had some first responders.
You're damn right I did. I got pulled out of here in an ambulance when I blew my knee.
Chuckle Toes. fell
Chuckle
downstairs.
toes, yeah.
We were actually the first responders.
Yeah, you were. Teabagging me. That's the funniest thing ever.
Making fun
Can
of
I tell that story? So it's not string theory, not string related, but it was really funny. When I fell down the stairs and tore my my lateral quad out of my knees. It's up in my leg here, tore it off, and so I'm laying at the bottom of the steps, and Megan her phone was off, and so I'm phoning in the house.
No, I was on the phone. And you just
You
kept
were on the
calling.
phone,
I was
right?
like, what is he
So
doing?
she didn't know I was laying there. I couldn't get up in the dark in the slimy rocks.
In the cold.
In the cold. So I call Chris I said, I'm down. You got to come help me. He didn't. He
Great
didn't
lady down.
yeah, he didn't even say goodbye. Like in 30 seconds, he was in the driveway. He rushed up the laneway and he saw me laying there and he was going, "Oh my God, are you? What happened?" I said, "It's my knee. I don't know what I did." And I was literally like just all up against the stairs and all like messed up. And Chris said, "Let me get behind you here and get you up." And so he got sitting on the stairs behind me. And it just so happened that like the only place to put my head was right on his crutch, right? So, and then they call the ambulance and he still got me there. And the ambulance guy, the two paramedics come up and they're trying to assess my damages. And they look at Chris and goes, "So what's the story with you two?"
Well, that's not what they said. They said, "What is your relationship to John?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, we're just friends." And then he starts singing to me.
Patting your head.
He's cradling my head and singing. What were you singing?
Amore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When the moon hit your eye. And he's stroking my hair. And the two paramedics
They were
almost
freaking out pretty hard.
died.
Yeah.
They're looking at me like, who?
Yeah.
They were laughing so hard. I'm crying just laughing about that. God damn, it was funny.
Yeah.
And they finally got me out of there. They got me on a stretcher and got me in the ambulance and took me to the hospital.
We
But
were
that was
waiting
really
there
funny.
for that ambulance for like 45 minutes, weren't we?
They came from.
Man,
Yeah,
I
they were
can't.
well away.
But I can't thank you enough for that.
Oh, hell.
That was really something. I never hurt myself that bad before.
I hate
was
that
the
when
worst.
you do that to yourself.
Yeah,
That's the worst.
I never hurt myself where I couldn't stand up after.
What a
Right?
bad, what a bad feeling it is too, because I've done it where you go,
Oh.
I'm not going to walk this off.
No.
When you fell out of the attic.
When I fell out of the
He
second floor.
fell out of the attic, like fell right out of it and landed on his ribs across a piece of heavy equipment and broke all his ribs.
Well, you didn't break all. We're easy now.
Well, he broke a ton.
No, he didn't.
I cracked a few.
Yeah, by God. I
Didn't break all
remember
his
you were
ribs.
black from armpit to hip there for a while.
Yeah.
God.
Strap
But
it up, suck it up, and
We
go
have
flying.
we have these things, right?
Yeah.
We have these things.
That's why it's nice to live near
I'm
each
back
other.
walking, the leg's getting stronger, and it's taped up, and I walk, and I got a cane, and I'm gonna be fine.
Is it ever going to be as long as the other one now?
No. I'm always
It's
gonna be
longer.
like Hervé Villachez on one side.
It's longer now. There's less
No,
things
it's-
holding it up.
Right.
It's just drooping.
Next.
Oh dear.
This episode has really taken some turns.
This episode is all over the
Out of
place.
control.
I'm going to need a drink.
Already.
I think you should get one.
We have a super chat from Tom Matthews.
That's a new name.
Yeah.
All right, Tom Matthews. Thank you, brother.
JP, any thoughts on amps for acoustic guitars? Maybe review a few?
There's only one. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, but I mean, there are other great amps, but the only amp that I've ever used that ever translated what I want translated on stage and out of the back of it into the soundboard is a Fishman Loudbox. It's the only thing. I use the Fishman Loudbox Artist. I've used one for 15 years, and it's the only thing that I've ever used that has the power and the EQ. What happened?
I'll take a minute.
Oh, yeah, has the power, the EQ, and the XLR out, post EQ.
DI out.
DI out, post EQ.
Yeah.
Beautiful effects, really natural sounding reverbs, and it's just a great amp. It's an
The
800.
great thing about them is they always work.
Yeah,
They just
exactly.
work. They're not overly complicated. They
Yep.
sound great, and they plug in 150% of the time.
That's right.
And just do what they want.
Now, mind you, I only use K&K pickups in all my guitars. It's the best acoustic pickup I've ever heard, and the Fishman is the amplifier that loves the K&K too, right? Like it just when you plug that K&K pickup into that amplifier, it sounds like a guitar in front of a microphone.
It does sound good.
It's so good.
How
And
many times have I borrowed that from you
Yeah.
to run down the street with and test a guitar?
Yeah,
Because I
exactly.
wanted to hear it plugged in and really get a good read on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's sort of the deal. And I mean, I would review other amplifiers. Like I reviewed the little
Yamaha.
the Yamaha desktop, and that's fine, but it's never something you would use on stage.
No.
But it was beautiful for sitting in a small space and hearing your guitar through some really cool effects and But that amplifier there, you don't need anything else. You don't need monitors.
No.
When I play live, my guitar is never coming through the monitor in front of me. It's just the amp and my voice coming through the monitor.
Money
and that's
well
it.
spent.
Oh yeah,
Great investment.
$800, $900 now, I think.
Yeah.
And they're just incredible.
Rock solid.
And you don't need the bigger one. And the smaller one is good, but it's only got one channel. It has two channels, but they're not the same. The Artist has two identical channels. It has XLR or quarter-inch in on both. The same EQ. It has multiple effects. It has a tweeter control. It has a phase switch. It has a mute button, which is incredibly important for guitar players, right? And that wicked DI out that sends your EQ out to the front of house.
Yeah.
And so there you go. Fishman, can't beat it, as far as I'm concerned. Tried them all. Tried every one of them. AER, Godin, Schertler, all of them. They all have a drawback.
Yeah. The Schertler sounded nice.
The Schertler sounded fantastic, but it didn't have a mute button.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't handle the road great.
It doesn't handle the road great, no.
Unfortunately.
So, these are tanks. I've in 15 years or 16 years, I've had 3 of these. And the ones that I quit, they weren't worn out. I could have kept using them. I just wanted a new one.
Yeah.
And I would give them to Bill Elliott. Bill Elliott's got 2 of them now that I went through over 15, 16 years. This is the newest one.
Good product.
It's a tremendous product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their pickups, not so good. But the amplifiers, can't beat them. Can't beat them. Next.
So we have, it's a little out of order, but I just have to ask it because it's from
Here
Mike
we go.
Hiscock.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
So JP, do you think Chris would make a good-looking woman?
Well, he did one time.
There's this one time.
He just knew it was coming as soon as
He
you heard
did one time.
Yeah.
Well, I won't waste a lot of time on this,
He
but
wasn't real good
just to
looking, though.
suffice this to say that at one time, Mr. Hiscock and this man showed up at a gig in Ontario, dressed like women, and they looked like women. They had
Complete
Mike's
with the 5
wife.
o'clock shadow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mike's wife did their makeup. They had dresses,
Yeah.
high heels, pantyhose. I didn't recognize them.
She was all right with it at first until the dresses and the wigs and the high heels and everything
Oh,
were on.
boy.
And she was making us up. And then she got
A little weirded out.
a little weirded out by
Yeah.
the whole thing, as everybody did at the gig.
Oh yeah, the gig. The
We
audience.
were going to be run out of town.
Yeah, the
before
audience was not impressed.
No.
But I nearly died.
And the
I
funniest,
laughed so hard.
the thing was, it was a bet
Yeah.
that I could never stop you dead in the middle of a show.
Yeah, well, you did. He did.
So Mike and I did.
He closed me down.
Yeah.
Permanently
When the
for
penny
10
dropped
minutes.
for
Oh,
you,
yeah.
that the
Oh,
two
yeah.
ugly women in the 5th row
Waving
at you
at.
were
Oh my!
he and I. Yeah.
And I didn't recognize you for a long time.
know.
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And when you finally started coming up towards the stage, I almost lost my mind.
Hilda,
I had to
on the
leave.
other hand,
Oh, she was.
Hilda, it never did compute for her.
No,
she was
pissed.
terrified.
She was pissed.
Yeah, she was terrified.
Yeah,
she
she
was
was just
blood
like,
curdling.
Oh yeah. She just was completely.
Her processor reset.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She had Control Alt Delete like multiple times. Yeah. All right. So there you go. Yeah. There you go.
You
Connect.
Ethiopian chicken, you.
Yeah.
We have a super chat from Tuba Dylan.
Tuba Dylan.
Says, I play tubas, trombones, and trumpets right at my guitars. I think they help break in the wood. What do you think about that?
Absolutely correct. No question. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to put my new instruments up against my brother's giant console stereo speakers. You know, remember when they had the old Realistic and Pioneer, and
Yeah.
that's what we did. Or we used to have televisions that were big enough you could put a guitar on. You know, we had floor model TVs when I was a kid. Cranked it up and put it on lay the guitar on top. Anything that made sound or
Little
vibration.
fix to your pet brontosaurus.
What? Wait, Jesus Christ.
What is wrong with her tonight?
I don't know, but she's gonna
Just
get
a second. I'm going to take her out, throw her over the rail.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you've heard of this. I think you have. There's a company that builds a unit that you put on a guitar that vibrates.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of this. I don't know what it's called, but if you Google that, there is a device that you can buy that you put on the back of the guitar
And shake
and
the...
it vibrates
Yeah.
the guitar body, right?
Yeah.
Like silently. Well, not silently because it causes the string to vibrate, but it'll actually, and it's the absolute truth that if you expose an instrument to heavy sound waves, it will open up.
Oh, sure it will.
Absolutely, because that's what it's all about anyway. That's what playing does, is just vibrates it and gets the woods to open up and lets the
This show is all over the place.
yeah, it is crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it vibrates the I'm going to say the wrong word. It's the
You're doing good.
it's the bit it's
going.
the bit in the wood that torrefaction removes, that takes that the thing that lets water in and out of the wood. It changes that. It gets that activated and subdues it slightly, right? That torrefaction destroys it so that the top doesn't swell and contract
Right.
anymore. Well, the same thing with vibration. That's what causes a top to dry out faster, is just playing the crap out of the guitar, right? So yeah, very good. Don't worry, that's a good plan. Tuba,
Jack is
big-
having a good old snore. over
oh
there.
hell yeah, big giant bass, fat waveform.
Tuba, right?
Oh yeah, hell, imagine that, eh?
It's awesome.
That's exactly what you're gonna.
Yeah.
That's great, fantastic. Ken next.
Super chat from Glenn Williams.
Glenn Williams, my friend.
AGP played with Billy a few times when he had the cutaway he got from you. What was that? Always sounds killer.
That was one of my most prized instruments, and I had a pair of sisters. I had the Dreadnought and the OM version of that guitar. And it was a L36 from Hamamatsu in Japan. Yamaha built both of those guitars. And I kept the small body, and Bill was touring with me, desperately needed a guitar. So that was the guitar he got. I said, I'm going to give this to you. He was playing with me all the time. I said, this is the... And I'm telling you, that was a double L36 custom from the shop in Hamamatsu, built by Hiroshi Sakurai. And Mr. Man, it still is awesome. That guitar is friggin' awesome. He's got Boucher's at the yin yang now, but that guitar, when he pulls that thing out, Jesus, Jack's ripping it.
Out of control.
Put
Yeah.
it down.
It's already cut a cord.
Oh yeah. But when he pulls that old Yamaha out, man, holy shit, that guitar. It's just it's supernatural, that instrument. As is all, like the ones that I have here now, I just wouldn't trade for anything. There's just such great guitars, and they continue to be. They last forever. It doesn't matter if it's a fact like the Chinese, even the Chinese factory-made guitars like the FG3s and the whole the FX3. FG3s, and the lines below that. They're tremendous guitars, right? They last for decades.
Got her nailed.
So, yeah, that's an LL36C is what that was called. An LX36C, because it came with the proprietary preamp 41, which you know about that one. It's the piezo and the gooseneck mic.
Yeah.
And god damn, that guitar sounded good plugged in. Oh, it was just amazing. Just amazing. So yeah, there you go. That's the beast. Billy still got her. Still playing her. Okay, next.
So the peanut gallery is saying that the device is called a tone right, and the stuff in the wood is called cellulose.
It isn't cellulose.
Okay.
It's you know what? If Guillaume was watching, you'd tell me. I just can't.
We'll get that answer.
Yeah, I'll get it. It begins with an L. Lignin. Lignin is what I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure.
You don't want a stiff lignin.
No, you don't want a stiff lignin.
No.
Lignin, I think, is what it is. It's a cell in spruce.
The wood fiber.
Yeah, that allows water in and out, and torrefaction kills it. And so does time. That's why a guitar gets darker, like the top gets darker, and it stops swelling and contracting over years because the lignin dies and the water stops going in and out. So torrefaction kills all the lignin instantly,
I
right?
can't take you seriously with Jack over there snoring.
Well, you
I
Oh,
know,
had
like
something to
his.
throw that wouldn't hurt him.
he's got his own microphone, so
Pretty close.
there's that
Wow.
too. Lignin. That's what I was thinking of. That's what it's called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Jack.
Okay, next.
We have a super chat from Larry Reinders.
Larry Reinders, my friend. Come ahead. What do you got, buddy?
Have you changed strings in your Kayla bass?
No, I have not. And I'm terrified. Because they seem to be really stretchy.
Yeah.
They're just rubber. So,
Yeah.
But I actually kept the hang tags from it because the string maker had a hang tag on the bass, so I kept that. So I'm going to buy the suggested strings once I
It only takes about 6.5 hours to wind
to
them.
wind them up. Yeah, yeah, and a screwdriver, like a drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 5 days. Yeah, no, but I'll yeah.
You have to hang off each one like a jungle gym for 2 hours
Yeah.
before you put it on.
Yeah, you got to drive down the road with one end to the
Tow your friend's car down the
exactly.
road
Yeah,
with each
take
one.
the dog for a walk with it first, especially the E string.
Oh, Guillaume did say that it was lignin.
Yeah, it's
There
like,
you go.
there. Guillaume's watching. Hey, Guillaume,
Yeah.
I love you, my brother. Hello to Boucher, Robin, Julian, everybody there at the shop.
Get
Love
ready
you
because
so much.
when we're coming, we're coming.
We're coming hard, boys. We're gonna come down there and Boucher it up. Okay, next,
We have a super chat from Joe McGraw.
Mr. Joe McGraw is in the house.
He says, Chris, tell the truth. Did JP hit on you that night?
No, he hit on Mike. Yeah. JP likes the
tall,
taller
thin
type.
ones.
Yeah, the tall, thin ones.
Yeah.
So he actually hit on Mike.
Okay, next.
Moving on.
You said you'd never tell anyone.
I have photographs of
Oh,
that
yeah.
of that night.
Oh, yeah, it was
and
out
they
of
surfaced
control.
every once in a while.
Out of control.
Terrible.
Out of control.
We got a super chat from Barney Williams, but there's no question as far as I can see. We'll
Barney
see.
Williams, thank you very much.
Thank
We'll
you.
validate
We love
your
you.
parking for the night.
Yes, we will. Consider your parking validated.
I gotta scroll way back up here.
You know who's not here?
Who?
Who have we not heard from tonight?
Oh.
Where is he again?
Oh, yeah. Where the hell's Cam?
He needs a little fixing.
I'm going to have to get after him.
Yeah.
He's really slacking off now.
Yeah. There's a new theme song in the
job.
making.
Yeah. He's going to not like his anti-theme song when I get it done.
All right. So the next question is from the Happy Knot.
Happy cannot.
Is a Martin D41 and a Martin D45 basically the same guitar? Have you owned a D41?
They are actually basically the same guitar. They're just cosmetically different. The 41 has... Jesus Christ. Jack is ripping it up over there. The 41 has appointments. The 41 has abalone all around the outside edge of the top, right? And it has the big hex fret markers on the fretboard, and they start, I'm pretty sure, at the first fret on the 41. I might have this backwards. But the 45 has all of that. The hex starts at the third, and they also have abalone purfling on this side and all around the back. So you're dealing with about $6,000 worth of abalone on a 45, as opposed to $1,800 worth on a 41. But they're the same guitar. They're both made of Adirondack spruce and Indian rosewood. And I personally would probably go for the 41, even though the 45 is the king of guitars.
Yeah.
The 41 I would settle for, because from the front, it actually looks like a 45 until you turn it around and see there's no abalone anywhere else,
Right.
except the top. But yes, they're virtually identical, except for that. It's just cosmetic. They're braced the same woods, same neck width, same everything. And like I said, the 41 is a goddamn good guitar. Just as good as the 45, in my opinion.
Just a little less blingy.
Just not as blingy. Like literally, because right now 45 would cost you $12,800 is what they're going for right now, and the 41 you can get for $7 and something. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of change.
$5,000 difference, right? Like, so yeah. If you can get either one, if you're able to get either one, buy one of them, because they really are something. The 45 that I had, and I've had a 41 as well, but the 45 that I had failed. The bridge come off it, but it is what it is. There's a lot of problems with Martins falling apart, especially now. I hear it every day. Somebody's got the bindings coming off, the frets are not right, the things are lifting, the bridge is off. It's all kinds of shit, right? But you know what? We were talking about this the other day, Ginger and I. These companies, Martin and Gibson, they make 50 guitars a day. 50 guitars a day. And we did the math on that.
That was you and I.
Me and you.
Yeah.
We figured it out, and I was telling Ginger, at 50 guitars a day, quality control has 8 minutes.
Yeah.
8 minutes per guitar to figure out if it's going to stay together or not.
Yeah.
And they can't do it.
And a setup time of 2 to 3 minutes.
Exactly.
To set it up.
It's incredible.
Yeah. They don't build them like they used to.
No.
No.
And how the hell can you put guitars out and confidently like that?
Yeah.
You can't. So as much as I love Martins, I would be very cautious buying a Martin. I'd have to go see it and play it and make sure it was good. And that's just the way it is. And they make great guitars, but you've got to make sure that the one you buy is a great guitar.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but that's the way it is. They've just outgrown their ability. They've grown further than their ability to control quality.
Yeah. You're buying,
Just
to
that
a
simple,
certain
right?
extent now, you're buying the name.
Yeah, you are. It is, and it's sad because it's a great name.
I don't
You know?
like doing install jobs on Gibsons anymore because it takes
They're the same.
It takes too long to clean the guitar up
Yeah.
inside
Yep.
to actually put the pickup in properly.
Yep. It's true. I've
Because
seen it. You've seen
it's
them.
sloppy. Yeah.
I've seen it inside. Sawdust and splinters. And
Yeah.
they just can't do that volume. It isn't even their fault.
Yeah.
There's just such a demand for those two names.
Yeah. It's the the speed of production is
Yeah.
driving it.
12,000 guitars a year. 13 actually is what both of them. Taylor's the same way. But Taylor does a bit better on quality control.
They still do a pretty good job. Yeah.
But even so, holy shit, that's a lot of guitars. To expect to have that legacy quality, right? That we desire. I'd love to have a Martin. I'd love to have
never match the quality of a handmade boutique
you,
instrument.
You just can't. No. It's not going to happen because this guitar they have a microscope up this thing's ass before it leaves the shop.
Yeah.
And they know all the parameters of when it can leave the bench safely and when it can be strung safely and how it's going to react to everything. They even know, like, okay, well, this guitar is going to go out in the summer, so we got to keep this guitar at this humidity now, right? That all those measurements, they can't do that in the factory. They just can't do it. And everything on this guitar is made by hand.
Yeah.
Martin and Gibson all CNC.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, sad, but still a fan. I'm still a fan. I still love Martins. I still love Gibsons. I just don't own them.
Yeah.
But
they don't build them like they used to.
I still love them. Can't help it. Next.
We got a question from Eli Patrick Music.
Eli Patrick Music, formerly Eli Patrick Bluegrass.
He says, "Hey Johnny Honest, I really like the songs Little Wawa and Johnny Ware. What are other hidden gems from Stomping Tom?
Oh God!
Also, what are your favorite guitar that you've reviewed beside Boucher?"
Well, okay. So here's a really good hidden song. Two of them, "Roving All Over the Land," and "The Bridge Came Tumbling Down," is one of my favorite Tom songs. A true story about the collapse of the Second Narrows Bridge in Vancouver, which really happened. My favorite guitars beside Boucher are instantly going to be Yamaha and Yeffery. That's the only two guitars that I've seen that can match that quality, and of course Gallagher's. I don't mention Gallagher as much as I should because to me it's just a given, right? Those guitars are so awesome and they're so tied to me as an artist that I should mention them often. They're always at the top of the list, but outside the realm of American builders, right, or North American builders, right? The two companies are the shop in Hamamatsu and the shop in Kane, Japan. Yamaha L Series and the stuff that they've been sending me from Yeri is just mind-boggling. It really is.
Nice guitars.
And designed well, like so well, and designed in ways you don't expect. Like the Yeri has the direct coupled bridge, and the Yamahas. You look at the LL56 that I have here, and it's like this guitar was built by one man. That you have to wait 6 months for him to build it. And it's different than the 36 because the 36 is by the 12 luthiers under him in the same shop. But the 56 comes off his bench, right? And it's just mind-boggling that this one man built this guitar, and there it is. And it's just like, yeah, those instruments, if you can buy high-end Yamaha, high-end Yeri, you're going to be hard-pressed to find better guitars. You really are, especially for the money.
Okay, so that's
Right?
for you. But if you were somebody else that didn't have the demands on the instruments that you do,
Right.
What would another tier be?
God,
Because there's lots of great guitars out there.
There is.
that we've used over the years.
Well, if I was you, I would. If that, and that's a good point. There's a lot of guitars that are coming out now. Like, for instance, I just looked at this list and thought of Roger. Brickhouse Guitars has his Stonebridge SGI Stonebridge Guitar International, right?
Yeah.
He's now working with different builders in Asia that are putting out new guitars, right? Guitars that no one's seen yet, and the best thing I can say to people is don't look in the normal places. Lift every rock to see what's out there because there's so many great builders that you don't expect. And some of them are single shop places like James Martin in Ireland or the big boutique guys like Bourgeois and Collings and these people, right? Look under the rocks and see what's coming out there. You've got... Because guys like Roger at Brickhouse, he facilitates the connection of a lot of those unknown builders with guitar players, right? And these guitars are not expensive.
But they're put together really well.
They're friggin' brilliant, right? And that's the whole theme of my channel, is to find the instruments that you're not expecting that can fulfill your personal needs.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, you made a great point. Just because I need something to fulfill my needs as a player doesn't mean that you will. You might need less than what I need to make you happy. And still the guitar you choose is awesome, right?
I think there's a lot of guitars out there that you don't need to spend the money on the Gibson or the Martin. You can actually do better with
less.
A boutique guitar. Still, like, have a whale of a guitar.
Yep, exactly.
That's you can record with. You could they're stunning.
Yep.
And you can get them for the same money.
Yep.
Because you are buying the name, but you're not buying the name for nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yep. So I would suggest to anyone who is, on the search, because we all have it, GAS, Guitar Acquisition Syndrome, right? We have it.
Look at who your favorites are
Yeah,
playing. Look at what everybody's playing.
Yeah, take a look around and see what people are using, and then check to see if the hype is real.
Yeah.
And you can do that by looking at channels like mine, and there's other people like Jeremy Shepard, the Guitar Hunter, and guys online that are really doing honest reviews of things, right? Go check that stuff out and find out if there's something there that you've never thought about.
Yeah.
And you might get a guitar that just boggles your mind, right? So, that's my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. I love every guitar I've got here. Like I would have a hard time parting with any of these instruments because they're all special in some way. But as time goes on, like I'm about to get a guitar from James Martin in Ireland, and I'm about to get some guitars from Brickhouse, his new models he's pushing, which I'm going to review and be a prime example of what I'm talking about. And the list never ends because there's so many great builders, so many great guitars, and so many choices that you, just like you said, you don't have to spend a ton of money, and you have a veritable world to choose from, right?
Yeah.
And amazingly, some of it is really inexpensive. Like I was talking today about, and we should mention that we are now this week doing the big giveaway with Fantasy, who has the Series 9 Recording Kings, right? That's going to be our prize, the Series 9 Dreadnought. And I have my Series 11s over here. They're $600 guitars, and I wouldn't part with them. They're just something about them. I just love them. So there's a $600 guitar. You've got a $5,000 Boucher. You've got a $3,000 Yamaha. You have all this menu to choose from. Right? You just got to look around and see what you want, and try to always play something before you buy it. I know right now we're in a lot of trouble. We're ordering things online, but you got to be really careful and make sure that you know pretty well what you're doing before you spend your money.
Yeah.
Right now. As time goes on, it'll get easier to try things, right? But anyhow,
you have a couple questions you have to answer before.
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple more questions, and we're gonna have our
draw.
You
have to go a little long tonight.
There'll be we're gonna be a little long.
We'll have no cheese.
Yes, indeed. So this one's from Bram Avery.
Hey, Bram.
He's been asking this last few weeks, and we just never got to it, so I feel like we need to address it now.
All right, do it.
He says he's been working on Kelly's Mountain. Any chance you could give a brief breakdown on where you go with the lead part?
Absolutely not. I will never tell you. Kiss my ass.
Hope you're dressing warm while you're working up there, because the weather's being the shits.
You know what? At some point in time, I'm actually going to do a video on that solo. Because so many people have asked me about it. There's no way to quickly tell you how it's done. It's just not. I'll do a video either on YouTube or I'm going to put it on the school.
Will you pull a carrot through the snow?
Yes, I will.
All right, that's good.
So until then, you're going to have to wait because it really is an incredibly involved. If I'm going to show people how to do it, I want to do it right. I want to show how it's done.
You'll have to slow it down.
Oh, yes. It'll have to be take the time and show it because it is so crazy that. And the scary thing about.
It's different every time.
It is not actually different every time. It's the
marginally.
Same.
It's marginally
different. But the scary part about that break is it was taken on that record in one take. And I fixed one thing in the middle that they didn't quite catch. That ending note didn't go. Mm-hmm. And the solo was taken off the top of my head. There was no solo prepared for that song because I didn't want one there. And Paul Mills was like, "No, you got to take a guitar break there." I was like, "What? Over that chord progression?" Like he's like, "Just do it, just do it." Like Paul believed in me, right? So I sat there in the studio and played that solo. It was the first take, and it was so good that I scared the crap out of myself. And then I couldn't think of anything better. There was no way to try. There was no reason to try to do better live.
Monster song,
right.
Classic solo.
So I just kept that solo for the past 25 years.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I will do it at some point. Okay, one more question.
The super chat. Do we have to address? Yes. It's just a comment.
Go ahead.
So it's quick. It's Tuba Dylan.
Tuba Dylan.
He says, if y'all haven't heard it, you should check out the tuba and guitar record Travelin' Light with names that I'm going to mangle. Sam Pilafayan and Frank Vignola?
Jesus.
Maybe?
Okay.
I think he's just trying to make me sound something on the internet.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that.
I think we talked about those guys earlier.
We might have.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to dig out the old random number generator here. So, we're obviously not going to have a question tonight. We'll do that next week when we start the draw again. So, this we're going to draw now tonight for the the grand prize winner. We've been up for 6 weeks now. Is the Series 9 Recording King Sunburst Dreadnought. That's coming from Fantasy Music in Halifax. Stephen McNeil, one of our great partners.
Not the Premier.
Not the Premier. And so we got 12 folks, and we want one of them. And just going to do this right here. And there we go. So we're going to just randomize this little fella right here.
Okay.
And we get number 2. And number 2 happens to be Jeffery Cohen. Jeffery Cohen, you are the winner of the Recording King Series 9 Dreadnought Sunburst Edition. Jeffery Cohen, if you're watching, if not, we'll try to find you.
How does he get it in the lockdown?
Well, we'll figure out a way.
Hey.
They're doing curbside there.
Are they?
So, Jeffery Cohen, you have won the big prize, the Recording King Series 9 Dreadnought Sunburst. Same guitar I played at the String Theory. We did it live at the Carlton there a few weeks ago. It's a beautiful guitar. And there you go. You can pick up your prize in person. And if you're not from here, Stephen will ship it to you. So there you go. There's the String Theory for the week.
Are we going to do a question?
Nope. Cue the music there, Ginger.
Oh, okay. I wasn't ready.
We will
No contest.
we will have the contest next week.
That was a random number generator.
Alrighty.
Next week, Glenn at G&G will be giving us a new prize. We'll be starting a new grand prize thing for 6 weeks. And yeah, thanks, Chris. It was awesome to have you back here again, as always.
I wasn't doing anything.
Well, we were doing some stuff. And again, thanks to all our partners. We couldn't do this without you. It's just incredible. And I want to thank everybody for watching the Doc concert. Gallagher has contacted me. They're very happy with the results of it. Everybody's reaching out to them, which is fantastic. And Saturday, in case you don't know, is National Fiddle Day here in Canada. And I have decided I'm putting on a goddamn concert Saturday night. So for National Fiddle Day, I'm getting my first vaccine on Friday. Yeah. So we're going to have a bit of a party.
You better choose carefully which arm you get to put in.
Oh, well, I'll get one of them. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
get them to put it in the arse.
So Saturday, we're having a hoedown here.
Yes, we are.
Nice.
So Saturday night, 7 or 8 o'clock, look for the scheduled event. And we're going to share it on Facebook and all that stuff. So Saturday night, I will be sitting here with a glass of scotch for an hour or so and playing the fiddle. That's going to be my thing, fiddle. Saturday night,
Awesome.
Canadian National Fiddle Day. Man, what are you going to do?
Play the
There you
fiddle.
go. That's right.
Yeah.
I hope you never find your perfect guitar, because if you ever do, you'll have to stop looking. See you next Wednesday.
See y'all.